In today's video, we're going to be going over how Aussie Star Cameron Smith was offered a ridiculous signing bonus amounting to $130 million to join LIV Golf, despite the consequences he may face. Players who decided to switch to LIV and take advantage of this lucrative opportunity have suffered serious consequences from the PGA and the Tour CEO in particular, but that isn't stopping golfers from continuing to make the switch. First off, where it began with Smith. When questioned about any potential involvement with LIV and whether an offer was currently on the table, Smith didn't dispute that his group is currently in contact with LIV Golf and simply said that he has no idea. Smith claimed that his group is concerned about all of it and taking care of any such matter, and as an athlete, he's only here to compete in golf competitions. According to sources such as The Telegraph, Norman supposedly wants to put together an all-Australian LIV golf squad that would be captained by both Smith and Adam Scott. During the press conference, there were no more inquiries regarding LIV Golf, and Smith will now have the opportunity to enjoy the success of a remarkable comeback victory at St. Andrews, but eventually it will be necessary to make his stance on LIV Golf known. The highest ranked recruit on the tour would be Smith, who would overtake world number 18 Dustin Johnson if he decided to sign. However, as things stand, he wouldn't gain points for the world rankings in LIV golf competitions, and his chances of competing in the major starting as soon as next year would be in doubt. Coming up next, would this ever stop Norman from stirring the pot and extending an offer anyway? Apparently not. In one of the most controversial moves in his battle against golf officials, Greg Norman has taken a mocking jab at his rivals. His icy jab at his PGA Tour critics comes as speculation about Australian star Cameron Smith defecting to Norman's renegade LIV promotion intensifies. Rumor has it that Smith has been offered an outrageous signing bonus of almost $130 million, which he reportedly finds to be too good to pass up. Suddenly, Norman is the one holding the winning hand this time around. Even former U.S. President Donald Trump has urged golfers to take the money and sign with Norman's Saudi-backed series. Smith, Australia's newly crowned British Open champion, raced to victory at St. Andrews fairly recently with a brilliant final round. The prospect of Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, and possibly Smith, the new number 2 in the world, joining Norman's endeavor further legitimizes LIV Golf and puts pressure on the organization to reach an agreement of some kind. Norman has now made it known that he thinks the PGA Tour made a mistake by not returning his calls prior to the start of the conflict because of its stupidity. Next up, for Norman, this is more than a sport. It's almost personal. Norman said that the PGA rested on their laurels, thinking they're the only game in town, and became a monopoly who believed only they could be the sole authority in the sport. He went on to say that from the standpoint of a player, he somehow always felt the tour works for the players, not the other way around. With that voice, he was sadly in the minority. In the Q&A with the newspaper, Norman is quite critical of the golfing establishment. He also makes the suggestion that the whole problem could have been averted if all the established tours had been ready to reach a compromise of some kind. He went on to say that he genuinely feels bad for the PGA Tour and believes the rhetoric they've been spreading has really backfired on them. The LIV figurehead claims that in his eyes, he thinks he's chosen the honorable path, and if people want to say these foolish things, by all means, let them. The players have accepted LIV's business model, and they adore it, according to the golfing legend. The athletes and fans have no complaints about the series either. Norman is of the opinion that LIV hasn't done anything other than develop a business plan and grant independent contractors the freedom to continue to be PGA Tour members, while earning a living through other endeavors. Norman also singled out TV analyst Brendan Chamblee and PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan for their hypocrisy in recent developments. The well-known golf commentator suggested last month that he ought to be expelled from the Hall of Fame. The retort for Norman was quite casual in response, as he thought this was hilarious, rather than something to be taken seriously. The LIV figurehead put Chamblee on the spot to make a point. He posed a genuine question about whether Brendan Chamblee has even visited Saudi Arabia before. Has he ever constructed a golf course in a developing nation? Norman dismissed Chamblee as nothing more than a talking, paid bobblehead, because his whole time Chamblee has had the golfer's cell phone number and has never called or left a message. Even after Norman made it known that he envisions a situation in which LIV Golf and the PGA Tour merge. According to Norman, Monahan hasn't shown the decency to sit down and negotiate. Along with Smith, LIV is reportedly close to recruiting Swedish superstar Henrik Stenson. If Stenson signs with LIV, it is anticipated that he will lose his role as Europe's Ryder Cup captain. Now in other news, from all the controversies, this has to be LIV's most extreme. LIV Golf's first ever U.S. event was scheduled to start fairly recently, but a group of 9/11 victims' families and survivors plan to protest the Saudi Arabia-funded tour by gathering gathering in a nearby park on that day. When the World Trade Center collapsed, Brett Eagleson, who was 15 years old at the time, lost his father. On that day in 2001, about 3,000 people met a tragic end. According to Eagleson, "We want the golfers to know who they're sleeping with and doing business with." He went on further to say that any golfer who decides to participate in the LIV competition should be required to pay attention to the family members, look them in the eye, and justify their participation in the tournament to them. Additionally, he said he wants to be able to inform the golfers about the Saudi role in 9/11. Eagleson, who is 36 years old, is one of those condemning the LIV event for being associated with a government that has violated human rights on countless occasions. He pointed out that Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda and the attack's planner, was born in the Saudi monarchy, and all but 4 of the 19 hijackers on September 11 were Saudi nationals. While this may be jumping to conclusions and taking a slightly controversial stance, Eagleson is standing by his views. About 20 miles west of Portland's downtown, at Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club, the LIV Golf Invitational gets underway very soon. The mayor of North Plains and representatives from neighboring communities, however, objected to the event long before it arrived in the small town, writing to the club's Texas-based owner to express their displeasure and claim that it went against local values. Coming up next, the man himself finally speaks up about the breakaway series. The golfing megastar Tiger Woods was critical of the new series and questioned why anyone would even bother taking part in it, despite the guaranteed amounts of money involved. Woods said that he objects to that. When asked about his fellow pros who have been enticed to join the contentious tour, which is being led by Aussie icon Greg Norman, Woods had some strong words to say. He claims that he thinks that what they've done is they've turned their backs on what has allowed them to reach this position in the first place, clearly implying that they would be nothing without the PGA. The golfing star went on to say, "Who knows what will happen with world ranking points or even the entry requirement for major tournaments in the near future." He believes that some of these athletes might never have the opportunity to compete in important championships ever again. While we also believe that this may happen, we agree that there is still much uncertainty about that. Woods claimed to be aware that Greg attempted to organize a breakaway tour in the early 1990s too, which didn't materialize to this extent. He apparently attempted to make it work now because it didn't work before, Woods continued, saying that he still doesn't understand how this move is best for the game. Finally, here's a taste of Norman calling out hypocrisy the first time around. As the US Open week finally came to an end, Norman, who is the public face of the contentious Saudi Arabia-sponsored LIV Golf Series, spoke with Fox News' One Nation with Brian Kilmeade to make his stance clear and clear up some rumors. He retaliated against the several PGA-affiliated detractors of LIV Golf, including the likes of famous sports analyst Bob Costas, who recently claimed that Norman and the other golfers he assisted in luring away, such as Phil Mickelson, are receiving blood money. A pretty bold claim by Costas, who didn't go any further to support this claim with further statements or any evidence regarding this. Norman reportedly stated that he's honestly pretty unhappy when individuals of any background, sports or otherwise, try to go down that road. This statement comes quoted courtesy of USA Today Sports, who are covering the matter. That's a wrap for this video. Do you feel Smith will take the deal? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.